ongoing efforts to plant trees and increase green infrastructure throughout the city of Detroit. But who takes care of all of the trees planted, and what are the environmental and economic benefits to the community? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the Vice President of Operations for the Greening of Detroit, Lionel Bradford. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And I would assume that the name of your organization does exactly what it implies, and that is you are out and about helping to make the drabber parts of the city more green and livable.
Exactly. And one way that we do that, of course, is by planting trees. Detroit was once known as the Paris of the Midwest, and that was because of its tree canopy. A healthy city has a tree canopy of about 40%. Detroit now has a tree canopy of about 22%. What happened between 1960 and 1980 is that we lost about 1 million trees in the city of Detroit due to disease, urbanization, and neglect. And so our organization was founded to address those issues and to reforest the city. So 24 years later, we planted over 80,000 trees, but initially, starting off planting, we went a few years out planting and then started thinking who's going to take care of these trees, as you just stated. So then we started looking at high schoolers in Detroit. So we started employing Detroit high schoolers in the summertime when they were off to maintain our trees, to give them the water that they need mostly there in the summertime, and to prune and do other things of that nature. As time went on, that program went from 8 kids to now 200 kids.
And it's actually developed into an ongoing program now where you recruit your workforce development program?
Exactly. That's a youth employment program that's housed in our workforce development department at the Greening. As we started employing more and more kids, these kids at 18 they branch off and they're too old for our program, and so we looked for ways to kind of bridge the gap between now our adult training program and a youth employment program. So we started what's called a Green Connections program, where those youth actually are being trained into being leaders for the youth program, and then they can go on to our adult training program from there.
So I would imagine not only is there the benefit of you're able to maintain the trees, the flowers, the grass, all the things that you are planting, now you have a workforce to keep those plants healthy, but are you seeing some of those folks who have gained knowledge and expertise and perhaps a love of nature maybe go into a landscaping field or pursue a career along those lines?
Yes, definitely. It's ironic because we do provide a stipend for that adult training. So at the end of 8 weeks, they get a stipend of the trainees get a stipend of about $800. What's amazing is that at the beginning of maybe about 90% of the trainees come because of the stipend, but we find that 100% of them leave wanting to do this type of work. And so we've actually graduated close to about 200 adults. We have adults that have that we've employed, that have been employed with the Forest Service, which is a government job. We have adults that are working for the state now, the city of Detroit. And so we're really seeing this program begin to change lives and help reverse the economic situations in Detroit.
Dual purpose, providing jobs and helping to clean up the city as well. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
For more information on today's topic, you can go to greeningofdetroit.com. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Lionel Bradford, the Vice President of Operations for the Greening of Detroit.